Hi, everybody. This is the Baseball Hut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion. Your host, the Hut, and welcome back to the Baseball Hut, and hopefully you enjoy this live stream. We're coming in a little later because I was out all day and I was a little worn down, but need to sort of have my dinner and recharge, and we'll be raring to go when we get to the Mets pick at number 38. This has been a very interesting draft, to say the least. So many shortstops, my goodness, and already selected. Number one pick this year is Eli Willits, shortstop with the Nationals. We'll run down. I got the list here. Now, please, of course, like this video, and if you're watching on replay, leave comments in the comment section. If you're in the chat, say hello to your host and everybody else. But we're gonna be going for a little while, not too long. I was hoping to do a longer stream, but like I said, I was tired today. Uh, not a robot. Do a lot of work, and then when I get home, it's tiring. But anyway, Uh, now the Mets played today, and they lost today to the Royals. But I really feel good about the team. Going into the second half, Mets have 65 games left in the season, and they're in pretty good shape. The Braves are pretty much done, I would think, and they're half a game behind, one game back in the loss column uh, to the Philadelphia Phillies. Now, right now, the scum sucking Braves are going to make their pick. We'll see who they pick. Here. But number one went to. But to go back to the Mets, we saw some great things today with Sean Manaea back. He looked really good. I'm not going to get too worked up about that ninth inning. The fact that the Mets got him back and he's healthy, keep him healthy, and just keep him going. But it was a very good first half. It's funny. I was thinking about this. This season so far reminds me of 2000. Sort of anticlimactic about them getting the postseason. That's the feeling I have right now. I don't know about you folks, what you think, but that's how I feel. Seems like another shortstop was picked up. The scum suckers picked up Tate South Seas. Easy for me to say. But so many shortstops in this draft. But the Mets had a very good first half, going 55 and 42. Obviously, they struggled. We know about the struggles. I think we're past that now. And I was very concerned that it was going to last for about a month. Now that the break is here, I think that sort of bad stretch the Mets had, I think, is out of their system. And then we'll come back on Friday against the Reds, and the Reds are a very good team. Seems that Terry Francona won his 2000th game today. And then after Friday, then we'll have the big ceremony with Dave Wright. And then we'll have about 12 days left until the trading deadline. I will have a big show here, big shows here that whole week. So I will be home as my customary vacation. Even if I didn't have a show, I'd still take vacation during the trading deadline week. And we'll get trades out for you, all kinds of rumors here. Um, and I'm going to have a lot of stuff, by the way. Whoever the Mets pick tonight, Mets will have two picks tonight, one at 38 and I guess one at 102. They don't have a second round pick because they signed Juan Soto this past offseason, but so they forfeited their number 2 pick. But a couple of things about the Mets. That was a very good win on Friday. That really kept them from losing 2 out of 3 to the Royals, obviously. And that win on Friday was very big because then the Mets just sort of laid it all out on the Royals on Friday, and then they won yesterday. So today was and I think we all kind of know that when Mendy put Diaz out for a second inning, that he really wanted that game last night, not knowing what he was going to get out of the pitching today, and he got very good performances. And I can't forget about Clay Holmes, who could have made the All-Star team as well. And that's a shame that he didn't make it. Now this Mizorowski, disgrace that he made the All-Star team, but be that as it may. What the Mets need to do to improve this club now is, one, they have to get a guy that's going to come in late in the game. Now, one thing that has happened over the last week and a half is that the Red Sox have played really well. And I know the Mets have been interested in Aroldis Chapman. The Mets have to find a guy that's going to be a pain late in the game. A guy that's closed games out and a guy that is going to be lights out late, because that's really one of the main problems here. I can't go to Ryan Stanek anymore. I've had enough of him. And Brazoban scares me, and to a lesser extent as it dwindles, so does Reed Garrett. But the Mets could use another reliever of a high end value, a guy that can throw hard. I would mention Brooks Raley will be back in the second half. I would expect that the Mets will bring him back. He pitched excellent. He pitched, I guess he had 9 rehab games in the minor leagues, and he gave up a run. So he was excellent. Excellent. In his rehab assignments. So that's great to see. It gives them another lefty. It gives them a competent lefty out of that bullpen. They've been bringing a lot of sort of guys in and out of here. Guys from the independent. I mean, how many people are they going to bring in from the independent league? There's also a little news today. Looks like, unfortunately, Max Kranick's probably going to need Tommy John surgery. That's a shame because he pitched really well in April. And the guy, I guess, hadn't been in baseball in a long time, and he hurt his arm. It's a shame. The Daniel Nunez obviously is gone with Tommy John surgery. They say that Jose Buto will be back from whatever illness he was suffering from in the second half. So the Mets are in pretty good shape in terms of in the organization. The pitching is going to get better in the bullpen, and obviously with the rotation is going to get better. We saw Kodai Senga on Friday pitch. Really looked really good. I was very happy with the way he pitched. They get what they can get out of him like they should, and out of Manaea, the rotation is going to stabilize. The big reason this team struggles as badly as it has is the fact that the pitching was so shaky. Now we got the Royals pick at number 23. See what they pick here. We'll run through the draft too. See how they pick. Sean Gamble. Is this another shortstop? Sean Gamble. Interesting. Sean Gamble, an outfielder. There's only been 2 outfielders selected in this draft so far. Amazingly enough. Actually 3 outfielders. But all shortstops and many lefties. Now, the Mets have some young players in the minors. We saw Jonah Tong was all over the place yesterday with the Futures game. I don't know how close he is. I know that Brandon Sprout is very close. I know that now, after his 18 scoreless innings in minor league baseball in AAA, and he's pitched terribly. So to see him pitch as well as he has over the last few starts is excellent. It's good sign. And of course, Nolan McLean, who is in his first full season as a starter and as a pitcher, he's pitched really well. Although I saw him a few weeks ago on SNY, I thought he threw a lot harder. I know that the Mets and Major League Baseball look at him very differently, that he could be a high-end reliever or he could be a middle rotation starter. But, I would mention, I think we've talked about it here, is that starters, you can get a good starter anywhere. They can come from anywhere. You don't need to be a number 1 pick to be a big-time starter. Look at Jacob deGrom. That's a great example of it. Jacob deGrom was a guy that was like a 7th-round pick, 10th-round pick. In the 2009, this is 2009. Let's see who's the next pick here. The Tigers. They've done a good job with their picks. Jordan Yost. Never heard of him. Jordan Yost. Never heard of him. Interesting. Now, of course, please like this video and subscribe. Yeah, so you can get great pictures anyway. Jacob deGrom was selected in the 9th round of the 2010 amateur draft. That was the Matt Harvey draft. No, is that the Matt Harvey draft? Yes. No. Yes. I'll get it right. Yes. Matt Harvey was selected in that draft. Jordan Yost. Who's he? Another shortstop. So many shortstops in this draft. Unbelievable. So many shortstops. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 of the first 14 picks were shortstops. And the big like shocker tonight was Eli Willis going to the Nationals because he was not mentioned as number one. The thought was over the last few hours and the past few days is that Ethan Holiday was going to go number one. That he was going to go number one. I also thought if he wasn't going to go number one, he was going to go four, and that's what happened. He went to the Rockies. And then another shocker at number two, and the Angels had such a wonderful organization. They really run it great. They select Tyler Bremner, right-handed pitcher, and all these lefties they didn't take. That was a shock. That's probably a bigger shock than Willis going number one. And then Katie Anderson, who was talked a lot about being number one, went number three. Ozzie Holiday went number four. Cardinals picked Liam Doyle. He could have went number one. Seth Hernandez went to the Pirates. The Marlins took a shortstop, Ivor Arquette. Let's see what the Padres select here at the 25th pick. Getting close to the Mets pick. Now, please like this video. See how they take. Oh, that's a great name. Cruz Schoolcraft. He has the name of the draft. Cruz Schoolcraft. 6'8". That is a name for the ages. Cruz Schoolcraft. 6'8". He's a monster. Then at number 8, the Marlins took JoJo Parker. We'll get back to the Mets, by the way, because I want to catch up with the draft. Blue Jays took JoJo Parker. Reds took, and he's a shortstop. Reds took Steele Hall, a shortstop. White Sox took Billy Carlson, shortstop. Jamie Arnold, who was talked about being the number one pick, the left-handed pitcher, he went to the Philadelphia, Kansas City. Here we come. Oakland, Las Vegas, don't call them Sacramento Athletics. Left-handed pitcher. Gavin Fien went to the Rangers, number 13. Number 15, Gavin Killen. Another shortstop went to the Giants. Number 14, Daniel Pierce. Daniel Pierce went to the Rays. Number 14, Kyson Witherspoon went to the Red Sox. Merrick Houston went to the Twins at shortstop. The Cubs selected Ethan Conrad from he's the first outfielder in this draft. The Diamondbacks picked Kason Cunningham, shortstop, of course. The Orioles picked Ike Irish. And we'll see again the general manager down there, who's a disaster as the everyday general manager. But in terms of the draft, he does a great job. He selected another position player. They need some pitching in that organization. So I don't know what they're doing there. I mean, but anyway, the Brewers took Andrew Fisher, and he's a third baseman, the first third baseman. Went to Tennessee. Xavier Nellens went to the Astros, and he's a shortstop. The Braves, F the Braves, but that he went. Tate CNEC went there, another shortstop. The Royals selected Sean Gamble, an outfielder. Jordan Yost to the Tigers, and of course Cruz Schoolcraft, the player with the best name in this draft, went number 25. And now we're just waiting on the Phillies at number 26. But again, with the Mets, we talked about the pitching here. They need a high-end reliever for the back of this bullpen if they want to get serious about winning this thing. Okay, and it's not about winning, division or whatever. It's about winning the World Series. So the Mets have to look to see where they can find somebody. I don't think David Bednar is good enough. Roldis Chapman has experience, but I don't think he's going to get moved. It looks like there's a possibility the Red Sox might be buyers now, which they said that they were very confident about it, what their situation was after they traded Rafael Devers. So they seemed extremely confident in that. But now the Mets offense got some problems here. Extremely inconsistent, which is one of the big reasons why they had this bad stretch again, is that they have too many guys in this lineup that they collectively always go through this. Okay, they could use another hitter in this lineup to offset some of the stuff here. A professional hitter. He doesn't have to be the best hitter in baseball. He doesn't have to be a star, but a guy that is a professional. Moves runners over, drives runs in when you need him, tough and late in the game. A real pro's pro. That's what they need, okay, in my opinion. Because there are some things lost from last season that we sort of don't talk about. And obviously, JD Martinez not being here, to have a real professional veteran hitter. Now, we know that Soto was a professional hitter, but to have sort of a counterpoint, particularly from the right side, because the Mets have struggled against lefties this year. Okay, that's why they didn't do much against that lefty today for the Royals. So the Mets kind of could use a right-handed bat again in this lineup to help them against lefties. And I would like to think that they would do that. That they would bring in um, another veteran hitter in here. Now they're not getting any production at the behind the plate. They're not getting any production in center field. Third base between Vientos, um, Mauricio, and of course Beatty. It's not a lot there. I'm not too enthused about Cunha now. Let's see who the Phillies pick. Gage Wood. Who the hell is this guy? Gage Wood. You never know about these players, where these players are going to go um, in terms of a year from now or 2 years from now. You might never hear from them again. They get drafted, and they hurt their arm, and you never hear about it. It seems that Carson Bench is doing really well, who they picked last year. That's the value of a college player. The value of a college player is obviously to bring him in very quickly and not have him in the minor leagues too long. And he's been developed. But to go back to the major league club, Mets need some obviously better pitching. I think the starting pitching is going to resolve itself. They need a high-end reliever badly, and with Brooks Riley coming back, it's going to help. They could use a professional hitter in this lineup. I think that when we come back after the break, I would think that Francisco Alvarez will be back. I mean, he's hit a lot of home runs down there in the minor leagues. I mean, a lot, was it 7 or 8? So he's ready to come back. I mean, I know that they probably want to work with his defense because obviously the offense was really just twisting his defense in a poor way. He wasn't really a major leaguer. He had to go. He had to leave. Uh, because the Mets are getting no production now. Um, you know, um, they're getting no production behind the plate. So it is very important that Alvarez wakes up. I guess he got rid of that stupid swing that he developed in the offseason. Don't do that. There's a reason why he was the best prospect in baseball because of that swing and his ability to hit the ball 400 miles. An irresistible chicken sandwich has left a comment in the chat. Shame that Max Kranick might need Tommy John again. He was somewhat okay. He was good in the first month. And then after that, maybe he was dealing with health issues again, Usually when a guy pitches well, then all of a sudden he doesn't pitch well. Sometimes it's not because he stinks. It might be because he's dealing with an injury, unfortunately. But that's how it goes with baseball, as you know. With all these injuries, I mean, these guys just throw too damn hard. They just throw too damn hard, and they don't know how to pitch a lot of times. It's amazing any pitcher stays healthy these days. And plus, there's such an investment on these players that you can't like just sort of have them pitching and pitching and pitching. Now, number 27, we have the Guardians, and then we'll be done with the first round, and then we'll get into these supplementary rounds. But the Guardians are up next. So many shortstops in this draft. But I'm very excited for the Mets. I think that I would hope that that Stearns can pull a good everyday player out of this trade deadline. Because really they need another bat in this lineup. I always think the Mets need more hitting. I always think that. Let's see who the Guardians pick. Let's see who they pick. Jace Laviolette. There's certain teams that pick good players. Guardians are one. They can't mess that up. Where does he play? Outfielder? There's certain teams you know they're going to pick a good player. The A's are one of them. I mean, Nick Cruz is in the majors this year. He's got 17 home runs on 60 games. The Nationals, I know they fired the manager, the general manager, but they still have the Montreal Expos system. So Eli Willits, they will get the max out of him. The Cardinals are still the Cardinals. They'll get they'll get a lot out of Liam Doyle if he stays healthy. There's some teams that are just very shaky, as you know, the Pirates, the Angels, the Marlins. I'm very surprised the Marlins took an everyday player because they usually take pitchers. The Reds farm system is excellent. We'll see what the White Sox are. They picked 10th. They should have, but because of the whole thing with Steve Cohen, and because they had a number pick last year, or they had a lottery pick last year. They only could get the 10th pick this year. But obviously the A's are great. The Rangers did pretty good today, I guess. They always do a good job with the farm. Obviously the Rays are good with their farm. We'll see. Orioles' first selection this year was Ike Irish. They got 2 more picks. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. They got 3 more picks. The Orioles in the first 43 players. So they're really going to improve their farm system in a big way. I think it's 7 out of 100 picks. Incredible. And now the Royals are, again, they're picking. They got their second pick in the first round. See who they pick. Another shortstop. Are they going to be any shortstops left when the Mets get there? They don't really need a shortstop, though. But if you want to know, where the Mets are right now, like I said, they need another bat. They need a high-end reliever. And I think the starting pitching, I think they'll be okay. I'm not big on Mitch Keller. I think he's just another version of Paul Blackburn, another version of Frankie Montas, although I think Frankie's a little bit better than him. I think they're all about the same, in my opinion. Guys that have ERAs over 4, that's how I look at them, to be honest with you. How I look at Keller, I think I would hope the Mets don't do that. I don't want to give up any players. So if I'm going to give any players up, it's not going to be for a guy like Mitch Keller. I'm sorry, irresistible chicken sandwich. I took you down. I have faith in the Mets to rebound after the All-Star break. Manaea was very good today. Sure, we lost, but it shows he's ready to go. Right. I mean, he's ready. He looked great tonight. I mean, he really looked great. He looked good. He looked great. And you're going to give runs. I mean, if you're a starter. But we'll see. That's interesting that the Royals picked the shortstop. Why would they do that? They have one of the best shortstops. And I'm glad the Mets were able to hold down Bobby Wood Jr. So now we're on to the compensation round. We got pick 29, which is Diamondbacks. Then 30 and 31 is the Orioles. And then the Scum-sucking Braves at 32. Red Sox at 33. The Tigers at 34. Mariners 35. The Twins 36. The Orioles again 37. And the New York Mets at number 38. And obviously the last time the Mets picked number 38 was in 2001 when they took a shortstop from Virginia, David Wright. What's going on here? Who's this guy? That's Manfred back out there. We'd like to see Manfred talk instead of a commercial. Now, who did... Oh, my God. How do you lose this pick? MLB just went to a commercial, and the Diamondbacks... Talk about no respect. The Diamondbacks got no respect. They took Patrick... What the hell's his name? Right here, the pitch. I don't know where the hell he's from. How do you go commercial knowing that there's going to be a pick coming out? How stupid is that? That's the MLB network sometimes. Patrick Forbes. Thank you, chicken sandwich. and of course, Twitter is not posting it because they know that MLB screwed up and MLB network screwed up. No respect. Patrick Forbes. Yeah, that's cool. That is cool. It's hilarious how they're laser beaming bats too. It's funny. That's fun. That's cool. I didn't know you could do that. Wait, how do you not have this pick? So you would think that these picks will be much faster than the first round because I know they want to get the first 3 rounds in here. So we're at number 20, at number 30, the 30th pick. We'll see who the Orioles pick at 30 and 31. It'll be interesting to see. Interesting. They just pick them both at the same time. Hold on, I need a drink. Go. Now, of course, please like this video and subscribe. We'll see who the Orioles pick here at this pick. Second catcher in the draft. Let's see who they... Let's see who they pick. Caden Bodine. He's named after a cow. Oh, no. Caden Bodine. So we'll see who they pick next. And we're getting close to the Mets pick. I came on at the perfect time. This was not a big draft in terms of a consensus number one. I don't think there's really any like elite player, generational player. Maybe later on, but so far there's not one. There's no Paul Skeens here. I mean, there's no Bryce Harper here. There's no Steven Strasburg here. Darryl Strawberry here. Or like they said that Larry Jones. So that's the one thing that's a little bit different. I'll also say this is a very good example. This draft will be talked about for a long time. I'm going to talk about it for a long time. But all the shortstops that were picked in this first round, first 14 picks, first 24 picks, 14 of them were shortstops. And I said a lot of times that the best position to take a player from is shortstop because you can convert them to third base, second base, the outfield. A lot of flexibility there, and there's a lot of sort of a history there. Okay, to convert all these shortstops into different positions, and primarily because they're the most athletic player on the field. That's the most athletic player on the field. It's usually the shortstop. We've seen plenty of shortstops over the years go to different positions. Robin Yount, David Wright was a shortstop. Robin Yount's going way back, but he became a center fielder in the majors. And I mean, you see other players, What's this here? Oh, home baby. Let's see the next pick. Next Orioles pick. Ooh, Wahiva. Oh, okay. Another shortstop. Wahiva. Wahiva. And like I said on the prospect, I will have all the scanning reports that you'll need, and they'll come in through Amazing Avenue and anywhere else I can find it. And so you need to subscribe to the Prospect Hut. And this is excellent. I mean, I love. I don't know about you. I love baseball, and I love talking about the draft. This is like one of my favorite things to do. Uh, it's one of my favorite things to do is talking about the draft and to be able to share it with people online is great. So Orioles took 2 catchers and a shortstop so far. Next up is the Brewers at number 32. Brewers are next. Then the Red Sox, the Tigers, the Mariners, excuse me, the Twins, the Orioles again, and then the Mets. Yes, Robert Becker, you're absolutely right. He was a shortstop in college. Wasn't the Mets did not draft him as a shortstop? Juan Lagares was a shortstop. Mickey Mantle was a shortstop. The best athletes on the field are shortstops because it's very like, hey, prodigy, hey, prodigy. This is a guy. This is a guy that actually works in the Mets organization. He says. A question for you, hey, prodigy. What's going on with Kevin Parada? Because he was the number 1 pick 3 years ago. You know, and he fell to the Mets. What's going on with him? How do the Mets look at him as a prospect now? Because he's not on any list now. I'm more interested in what the Mets think than any other team does. The Mets' strength in their farm system is infielders and catchers. The best Mets prospect behind the plate is Giovanni Rodriguez. See who the Brewers pick here. See who they pick. Brady Ebel, another shortstop. Wow. There going to be any position players left? I mean, all these outfielders are still sitting there. Third baseman, first baseman. Another shortstop. A Project says Parada's done better, but he's losing his prospect status. Yeah, I mean that's what a shame. And he, they said he was going to be a top 5. I remember that draft 3 years ago. Going into the draft, that he was going to be a top 5 pick, and he fell in the draft. I remember they take him 11. I know they took him and Jeff Williams were right there together. Was he 14? Or was Jeff Williams was Piranha 14 or 11th pick or the 14th pick? I don't remember now. A Project says he wasn't liked by former people in the organization. I know you told me that. They little like didn't get along with them. They didn't want to listen. But he came into the draft with such a great like story behind him, and that he was like a real leader on the field, and what a shit. And then the Mets picked him. They said he was going to be like their Gary Carter, and that Alvarez was going to be their version of Mike Piazza. But they said he was going to go 5th, and he dropped. He dropped in the draft. It was crazy how he dropped. And people were so excited. I was excited they got him. But then now you know why. There must have been an issue. Maybe it was just his attitude. I don't know. You never know with some players. Some players can be great in college and then just be nothing, or some players will be lousy in college or not be anything that you notice in college, and then they're a great player. Jacob DeGrom's one, you know. It's just a real crapshoot sometimes. The Red Sox are next at 33. I'll bet you getting excited. The Mets are coming up. Mets are coming up pretty quick. Before we know it. So this still Manfred has to say. I mean, Rob Manfred. Another pitcher. Oh, that's too many pitchers in this draft. They picked Marcus Phillips from Tennessee, another player from Tennessee. They got the head coach of Tennessee here as sort of a go-between. He knows all these players. It's the fourth player in the first 33 rounds to be picked from Tennessee. Tennessee's such a big program. Tennessee, Oklahoma City. I mean, Oklahoma State. That's a big Florida. Those are some of the big programs, and there's a few others I'm sure I'm forgetting, but those are really the top three. So this kid's 20 years old, 6'4" from South Dakota. Wow, Marcus, that's interesting. When you find a player that's from North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, and they get drafted. I mean, look at Brandon Nimmo. Next up is the Tigers, and that pick is in. That pick is in. We'll see who the Mets pick. We'll see who the Mets pick here, and I'll have a all kinds of scouting reports on him, whoever they pick. I'm not all that in tuned with the college baseball. I probably should do a better job of that. That might be the next goal for me for next year. Is really get into what's going on in college baseball. I'm very happy with the way the prospect HUD is in terms of what I know in the Mets system now. You ask me about a player, I could tell you what they're all about now and give you my opinion. I said the first year of what I was doing on the prospect HUD, I couldn't give you my opinion. That channel's 2 years old now. I can give you opinion on all the players that they have in the system. Pretty much. There's some new names that are popping up. Not too many, but a couple of new ones coming up. See the Tigers pick. Now, of course, please like this video and subscribe to the Baseball Hut. And I'll have a video on the Baseball Hut too about the trade deadline. Probably tomorrow. I'm only going to go to commercial, kid. That's embarrassing. Go to commercial. Michael Oliveto. A lot of catches in the first round this year. He's a high school player. Michael Oliveto. So the Mets are going to be coming up very soon. From Haplock. Oh, interesting. Oh. From Smithtown. Interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. Now, please, of course, like this video and subscribe. Next up is the Mariners, then the Twins, then the Orioles again, and then, of course, America's team, New York Mets, and then after that, the Yankees. Yankees pick up after that. So they're saying this Michael Oliveto is committed to go to Yale. You should go to Yale. You should go to Yale. In my opinion, go to Yale, and he plays well in Yale. He'll get more money. He's a catcher. Interesting. So the Mariners pick is in. We'll see who they pick. And again, I'll be back again with all these big shows during the All-Star Week. I mean, not All-Star Week. During the trade deadline. Obviously, this is All-Star Week. And we'll just cover what the Mets do. Yeah, the Mets have a lot of stuff going on here. Like I said earlier, the Mets need a bat. I don't think they're going to be looking so much for a starter. I would stay away from Mitch Keller. We have guys like that. We have people like that. Now we got Frankie Montas. We got Paul Blackburn. See what Seattle takes. Another catcher. Boy, this is a strange draft this year. Very few outfielders in this draft going high. I know there's some good outfielders. But to go through the Mets system a little bit. Yes, A Prodigy. I said this earlier. The bullpen and center field are their areas of need. And I was thinking they don't need to make a trade for like a big bat, but they need a professional bat, professional hitter. It doesn't have to be a more sort of in his prime JD Martinez, but somebody like that. You could see not having him in the lineup has hurt this team a little bit. Hurt this team a lot. And we've seen that with Vientos not hitting well. That's hurt the team. And Alvarez not doing what he's supposed to do. Because the Mets were expecting that there'd be production from those two in particular. And they need a big arm late in the bullpen. Having Brooks Raley back is huge. I talked about that earlier. That's huge having him back, and he'll be back in the second half. Thankfully, that's really missed him. And I'm glad that they re-signed him too, by the way, because he's pitched really well. Next up is the Twins. We'll see what they pick. But it'd be interesting to see what the Mets do with some of these players. They have so much talent in terms of on the infield coming up that they're going to start pushing people out of here. Vientos could get pushed out of here for all the talent they have in the minor leagues. And plus, they got Mauricio up here. And I think they like him more than they do Vientos. I like them both. But somebody's is not going to be here. I'm starting to lose a lot of interest in Luis and Acuna. He has no power. He doesn't drive the ball enough for me. He doesn't run the ball at all. He's not his brother. They got the same exact swing, but he's got no power behind it. No power. And now I understand why his OPS was so low last year. He's got no ability to drive the ball. See how the Twins pick. Riley Quick. I heard his name. From Alabama. A Project says Acuna could be traded. I mean, I would prefer them to keep him down in minor leagues, to keep his value high, because it's just not enough there. It's just not enough. There's no pop there. I mean, I think he can hit. He does everything well, everything elite, but he doesn't drive the ball. He's got elite speed. He's excellent defensively. He's a great base runner. We haven't seen him much in the outfield. I'm sure he's a good outfielder. He's got great instincts for the game. He really does. But the power is just not there. And that's what keeps him from being a star player. And that's the one concern that I have with this group of players the Mets are bringing in, or that they have in their system, especially on the position level. There's no elite guys. You have guys that could A Project say, I give suggestions to the prospects they can trade, but not going to give specific names. Well, you do. You put it out there, and I'll figure it out. But I think I pretty much have a good idea. I'm sure I have an idea of the guys that are untouchable. I would think Tong's untouchable. I think McLean's untouchable. I think you can talk about Sprout a little bit. They have other guys like Zach Thornton, Jonathan Santucci. We'll see what the Orioles pick, and then the Mets pick. See who and their pick is at with the Orioles. Now, please, of course, like this video and subscribe to the Baseball Hut. And if you watch on replay, leave comments. Who? Slater DeBron. And the Mets are up. Finally. Well, at least it didn't come too late tonight. It's 8:42. We'll get to see who the Mets pick, and I will go over this player for quite a while. See if they pick a left-handed pitcher. There's still plenty lefties out there, or an outfielder. Those are the kinds of things the Mets need. They need outfielders, and they need more pitching. Those need pitching. And the Mets drafted a lot of pitching last year. I will mention this. I will be home tomorrow. Santucci. They would be so quick to move him. They would be so quick to move Santucci or Zach Thornton. But the Mets could use some more pitching in the system, some lefties in the system. This is a very heavy, drafted, heavily, uh, very heavy with left-handed pitching, and we'll see if that might be where they'll go. Oh, wrong one. Okay. Um, but we'll see who the Mets pick. Hey, the Mets. There's the Mets. Well, sort of sitting there. Yes, the Mets have two picks tonight, 38th and 102nd. And we'll see who the Mets, of course, pick here. And of course, if you're coming in for the first time, hit the subscribe button, like this video. Time for a commercial. Let's see if they get the pick here, because they screwed the Diamondbacks up there. Grizzlies. They screwed the Diamondbacks before they were in commercial. Oh yeah, they're gonna screw up the pick here for the Mets, folks. They're gonna do it. Why am I not surprised? Because they had the camera on Mr. and Mrs. Met. Mr. and Mrs. Met's gonna be very disappointed when they're not, and it's gonna be a long commercial here. They didn't go straight to a commercial. Now, this is where you want to follow. This is the channel you want to subscribe to. And I would mention, I know I haven't been doing a lot of videos here. I'm not going anywhere. So don't think that, this was a summer I need to take a break, to be honest with you. The intensity of, doing this channel for the last 5 years has sort of caught up with me a little bit. So, but the most important thing is I'm not going anywhere. Anyone wants to know, I am all in with you. I know some people there for a while were wondering where I've been, and I didn't go anywhere. And I'm not going anywhere. AI's not pushing me out of here. Uh-oh. Yeah, they're gonna bait the pick with who's gonna be able to watch it. It's a commercial. Yeah, but I'm not going anywhere. I know people were concerned that I just sort of took a break during the summertime a little bit. I needed it. Sometimes you need to take a step back. I took a step back. Hopefully they don't screw this up like they did the Diamondbacks. Don't disrespect America's team. Speaking of America's team, did you see the Red Sox haven't lost a game since they met Trump? And Trump was bragging about that today, and they won again today. This is a long commercial. This is a very, very long commercial. See the Mets pick. I don't know these players, I would mention, but we will learn about them after tonight and tomorrow. Here we go. But I will have all the scouting reports and all the players the Mets pick today and tomorrow, and I'll be home tomorrow to go through it. I love the fact that they had the draft on TV. I don't know about you. Because I always seen the other drafts on TV. Let's see what the Mets pick here. Thank God they're out of commercial. We'll see how they pick here. Let's see. See if I got any info on who they take. Nothing. Yeah, the last time the Mets took 38th overall was David Wright. I know who the Mets picked here. Mitch Voit, infielder, relief pitcher. I don't know this player. See, I don't know this player, folks. I don't know anything about this player. I gotta check this out because I don't know this player. Let me see. Let me see if I can find a scanner report. He's from Michigan. Daniel Dowd compared him to Gleba Torres. Let me find a scanner report on him for you folks. So I don't know anything about him. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see if we can find something. All right. This is from SB Nation. It's Texas Rangers preview. Mitch Voit. Taking a look at potential Texas Rangers draft pick Mitch Voit. Let's see. Let's skip around. Mitch Voit is 6 foot, 201-pound, right-handed hitting second baseman at the University of Michigan. Undrafted out of Whitefish Bay, Wisconsin, Voit both pitched and played in the field his first 2 years in Michigan, but underwent internal brace surgery last summer and didn't pitch in 2025. He turns 21 at the end of September. Voit has taken a significant step forward this season with the bat, which reports suggest may be due to his focusing solely on hitting this season and not pitching. He gets quality marks for his contact ability and has greatly improved his plate discipline in 2025. He's a hit over power currently, though he projects for above average power long term, and his swing is geared towards putting the ball in the air. Voit has played all over the field for Michigan, spending most of his freshman season at third when he wasn't pitching, playing first base and the corner outfield spots as a sophomore, and manning second as a junior. This doesn't tell me much. The scouting report tells me nothing. Baseball America has Voit at number 231 on their top 500 list. MLB Pipeline's draft rankings have Voit at 63. Keith Law's top 100 list has Voit at 54. Conor McDaniel's top 150 list has him at 66. He's going to be a project. This is a project. I don't know if I like this pick. I could be wrong. I mean, I would mention that David Stearns knows what he's doing, but I am not too enamored with this pick. I got to be honest with you. Just on the surface level. Not too enamored with this pick, to be honest with you. Michigan. This is from SB Nation. Michigan infielder Mitch Voit has been a constant spark plug for the baseball program in his 3 seasons in Ann Arbor. Now he sets his sights on the MLB Draft, where he's projected to go in the second or third round. So he kind of went where they said he was going to go. I wonder if the Mets will spin below slot on him. Voit has shown the ability to drive the baseball to all areas of the field. I don't know. Let's see. All right. Voit comes into the draft with a 55 grade hitting. That's okay. 50 grade power. 60 grade run, 60 grade arm, 50 grade fielding, and a 50 overall grade. That's okay. This will put him right in the middle of the pack in terms of being an MLB prospect. We're given the statistics and playing a Power 4 conference for 3 years, which should be judged as a better overall prospect than the grades suggest. I'm not too enamored with this pick. Not too enamored with this pick, to be honest with you folks. But like I said, the Mets always, I don't know what to think of this pick. I really don't. I really, really don't. I really don't know what to think about this pick. I need to learn more about him. I always like to try to sort of do things from my hip and try to figure things out. Shoot from the hip a little bit. Let me see what the. I said, I like guys that I would have preferred a pure shortstop, or a guy that's been a shortstop his whole life. This guy comes across as a second baseman. Let me see here. He's not a little guy, He's got a big swing. Wow. Now, please, in the meanwhile, please like this video. If he performs well, he'll be here very quickly. I would think the Mets picked him because he was the next best prospect on their board, obviously. Um, A Project says prospects can amount to more than their draft stock. You're absolutely right. But I'm just doing my first impression. Okay. But I have faith in Stearns. They did a great job last year in the draft. I am happy that they picked a college player because you have a pretty good idea of what the player is going to be like. But he comes across as a bit of a project in the college level, and we'll see. He does run well, which is good. Hello, Stony 814. Sorry I'm late. I wake up from a nap. Absolutely. Well, right, A Project. He's going to be under slot, so that maybe they're going to spend more later on in the draft. They'll pick a better player. But now we got to wait around for the 102nd pick now. 102. Yeah, I mean that's the one thing they're not going to spend a lot of money on Voit. Mitch Voit. Well, now we're up to the Dodgers. We care about the Dodgers. Who the hell the Yankees pick? No, I don't care, but this, like I said, I'm going to cover the whole draft. I'll have videos up on every player that they draft. I'll have it all on the prospect hut. I'll find a better scouting report. I don't really care for these scouting reports. Sometimes I come across scouting reports. They're never very good. And I always find it, again, Amazing Avenue does the best job. I used to get a newsletter in the mail. I can't remember what the newsletter. It was a real newsletter. I used to get in the mail all the time. And I used to get the detailed reports of these Mets players. It was a yellow newsletter. Be about 10 pages. It would be like mailed and be folded and my name on it. I used to get it every few months. And then I paid it off. I didn't get it for a long time. And then about 10 years later, I started getting it again. It's like, what is going on here? And they wrote to me. It's like, You've been getting these letters, you're getting these newsletters, you owe us money. I was like, I didn't order this. You guys just sent it to me again. Um, and they would used to be just great scouting reports, and they would dig deep with like the bench player, and Kingsport, that's how deep it went. It really detailed, more detailed than what MLB.com does, or guys like Joe DeMayo does, you know, or Jonathan Mayo. These guys, I don't know who this guy was that was doing these newsletters, but it was more detailed than any of those guys did. Stony 14 says, what number pick are they at in the draft, Hut? Well, the Mets pick 38th. We are now at 41, the Dodgers picking the second pick. The Mets picked Mitch Voit. He is an infielder from Michigan. Let me put his name. Let's see it. I'll put it on. This is who the Mets pick. Oop. Spelled his name wrong. Now, of course, please like this video and subscribe. All right. I'll put this up. Delete the other one. A Project says, remember how everyone wanted the Mets to draft Honeycutt? Now he's batting under 200 and Benj is in Double A now. Benj is well, he came from a big program, That's another consideration too. Guys that come from big programs like Oklahoma and Tennessee and Florida, you know. I love college players. I would prefer, that's like I said, the one thing I like about this pick is that he is from college, and I have a pretty good idea of the projectability. So it's just about getting him to smooth out his game to be a professional at the major league level. Obviously, with Benj, there wasn't a lot there that they had to sort of polish. You know, there was not as much they needed to polish with him as say some other players, say some kid um, in high school. You know, it's more you get more of you have a better idea of what you're getting. I have another question for you, A Project. What's the Mets' view on Drew Gilbert? Because I know he sort of had a rough year this year, but he's played much better over the last 3 or 4 weeks. What's going on with him down there? Because I've been a big fan of him since they brought him in here from the Astros, and he had such a terrible injury last year. How's he viewed in the organization? Stoney says, "Nice, we got a third baseman in the draft. Well, he can play third, he can play second. You know, he's probably going to be a second baseman here. I would think in the majors they would compare him to Gleyber Torres. Let's see, and he can pitch. So we'll see what happens. I mean, we'll find out more stuff next year. Voight last pitched in 24 as a starter, but had UCL surgery, which means not Tommy John, following the season, and he did pitch this year. And the Mets, I guess, picked him as a two-way player. Uh, did you folks see that Mr. Met took a tumble at a concert? Nice. A Project says he's a top 10 prospect in the farm system. Gilbert has done a lot better recently, and he needs more development time. Yeah, I mean, that missing, you can't, I was looking on, what the hell was I? Baseball Reference. Jay Payton's face popped up. You know, when you go in the opening, that page, and they give you like these random players. Well, Jay Payton popped up. The Mets drafted him in 1994. He was a top prospect with the Mets, and he was a top prospect at Georgia Tech. He was one of the best hitters in that draft. Um, he was a top prospect in Major League Baseball for a while, for a long time. He had so many hamstring injuries. He had so many injuries to his arm that really took him forever to get to the major leagues. They drafted him in '94. He didn't come to the major leagues until 1998. This is a college player, and he didn't become an everyday player until 2000. You know, and at that point, I think he was like 26, 27, and he was a good hitter. He drove me crazy because he just drove me crazy. I watched the batting practice of him in '98. I went to a game in September '98, and I watched his batting practice. It was probably the most unimpressed I ever was watching a player's batting practice. You know, but that's an example of a player that was a star. He played with Nomar Garcia Parra in Georgia Tech. He was just as good as Nomar in terms of as a hitter, but he lost so much development time that when he got to the majors, you could see it. He got thrown out at third base, I guess, that Friday night when the Mets played the Braves that final weekend, and with Mike Piazza coming up, it completely just disheartened everybody to see this. He gets thrown out at third with Piazza coming up next, and everybody was like, "What would you say? What would you see here?" So that's the one thing that's concerning when you see players lose a whole season based off an injury. And the Mets had a few guys like that. He had that. Jet Williams had that. Jacob Reimer had that. And Reimer was in Brooklyn this year, and he just destroyed Brooklyn pitching. He just destroyed the pitching in the Penn League. Now he's in the Eastern League, uh, and he went there with Carson Bench, and he's just doing just as well. And then you have Jet Williams. He's the other kid who it's taken him a little bit of time this year, and he had a bad wrist injury. He missed a full season, but he's much younger than the other guys are, especially Gilbert. But you lose that 1 year of playing every day, getting the experience. The experience is a thing. And if you make mistakes, the whole world's not watching you. And you got a fast guy like, just say, Jay Payton. He was a fast base runner. Uh, just. All right. A Prodigy says Reimer will be a top 100 prospect soon. He's like Austin Wright, really. He's very impressive. I mean, the Mets. The Mets drafted him. When did they draft him? In 22. Let's drafted him in 22. He's very impressive. He had 3 home runs this year in the game when he was with Brooklyn. He was on the MLB network. When does that happen? So the first round is over. The first round is over. Now we're just going to be on the MLB network. I guess they had this on ESPN as well. We're watching the MLB network. I didn't even bother to look on ESPN. Now, please, of course, like this video and subscribe. Yeah, those things with the bats is just awesome. Now, if you're coming through for the first time, please, of course, subscribe to the Baseball Hut. And this is the annual tradition where we do the draft. And I love the draft. And if you're watching this, you love the draft too. Um, so this is a great night for baseball, to be honest with you. And this was a good live stream. Now, of course, I said this earlier. I don't want people thinking that I've left YouTube. I've not left YouTube. Okay. I'm not going anywhere. Just trying to expand. like to get on Spotify. That'd be probably the next place I'd want to go. You don't need to subscribe to Spotify. You just, Uh, Stoney says, "What time do you think they will be done tonight?" Well, probably 11 o'clock. I think they said. We're now at pick number 44. The first round is over. On to the second round. Mets do not have a second round pick now. Mets next pick is 102. So who the hell knows who they're gonna pick next? To be honest with you. But the idea that Jacob Reimer could be Austin Riley, that's pretty cool. I understand that that dope Frank Fleming wants to trade Mauricio. Like it's a combination Mauricio, Acuna, and Vientos for Austin Riley. Is that guy on crack or something? I mean, really. First of all, Austin Riley's on the injured list. Okay, the Braves are never going to trade one of their best players to the Mets for guys that aren't elite prospects. Okay, Mark Vientos had a big year last year, but he's not a good defensive third baseman. He's got a great arm, but he's not a good defensive third baseman. Um, all right, Mauricio is inconsistent, and that's another example of another player that missed a full season last year. And you see some of it from time to time. He's had these issues before in the minor leagues, where his game's inconsistent, and Acuna has no power. A Prodigy had a couple things to say. Frank is paid to say this stuff, absolutely, and easiest job any person can have, absolutely. How does a guy who has no talent, he's got no talent. He's got no talent. He's known as the guy who screamed um, because he missed a train. And meanwhile, he got to the ballpark. Something that's not talked about. He got to the ballpark. Um, and he is paid by Dave Portnoy. Talked about this for many years. Dave Portnoy wanted to buy the Mets from the Well Ponds as part of the group with A-Rod and Jennifer Lopez. You imagine those two owning this team? That would have been the biggest disaster in creation. With Dave Portnoy with his pizzas, fans would be throwing pizzas at him. And they'd be throwing pizzas at that guy. It's like, your team is terrible. You know. And it's funny, he hires Fleming right after his group did not buy the club. And having Fleming is like having an attack dog. No. And I would mention about Portnoy. He went to school in Michigan. Who went to Michigan? Well, it's funny you should mention Jeff Wilpon, and he's still skulking around. Of course. But I talked enough about that whole situation for many years with those two. It's a little shaky. He was a guy that was known for many years before that. And also, Fleming has a background in broadcasting. He's worked in the courts for many years in New Jersey. I guess he retired from the courts to be a quote unquote influencer. You know, he's such a strange individual, such a strange guy. He grabs his glasses and chews his glasses when he's mad. He claps his hands like a clapping monkey. It's crazy. Stony 814 says, "Love the video you did on WFN just recently. I loved it." Well, uh, some of these WFAN personalities think they get a little too big for their britches. Okay, I didn't think personally I could have done a better job with the video. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've done better videos on WFAN. That was not one of my better ones. I appreciate people liked it. I know you loved it, but I thought I could have done a better job with it. It's not one of my better ones, to be honest with you. You know, I could have done a better job, to be honest with you. I mean, I've done better videos than that one. Um, But I thought that to block a known fan of a team and the angry Albanian, I thought it was a bit much. Um, and I have no problem if I feel the need to do it. I don't really like doing that too much. I don't like sticking up for other people too much these days. But if I think if it's a video that could be entertaining or interesting, I'll do it. I didn't think that it was as funny as my other videos on WFAN because I haven't done a lot of videos and I've been trying to catch up. I'm like a little behind content, so I rambled on for 5 minutes too long, in my opinion. That's the problem with that video was, to be honest with you. But I appreciate the people that did like it. You know, I have a standard of my humor, and I didn't think I was funny enough. You know what I mean? That's the one thing. You know, I would mention I find something very strange on X, and it's really been driving me crazy. Is I find that on X that there are so many people with accounts that are anonymous that no matter what happens, whenever anybody, and this goes across the board, if you write something, whatever it is, some news thing happens, it's always with a negative comment every time. And I would, and Musk always said the more positive you are with a post, the better it is. So you see all the negative, and that's probably why my account doesn't do better because I'm always complaining, you know. But there's some people that complain so much on there that their accounts don't go anywhere, and they use like cartoon pictures and comic book pictures and pictures of athletes or just random stuff, and some of them don't like, and they write the same stuff, all the negative stuff all the time. I had somebody write to me yesterday, and I said about Soto. Soto should have gotten in the All Star game, and the one guy said, "No, nobody voted for him. The fans didn't vote for him." I did. If you're watching this channel, you did. Hey, Prodigy, why would the Mets be interested in Luis Robert Jr.? I would stay the hell away from him. He's hit what, 180? He hasn't hit 30 home runs in a long time. I don't like him at all. Why are they still interested in him? I'd be better off with Tyrone Taylor. Taylor is a winning player. You're not getting much in terms of offense out of him, but I don't really care for that. I don't like that idea at all. I would not be happy with that. The 45th pick is now in. I think what's interesting now. Oh, John Heyman. John Heyman, the Boris Whisperer. I wouldn't do that. I would never do that. I would not do that. I'm not a fan of Luis Robert Jr. He can't hit. He's always hurt. You know, his attitude is shaky. Although if he were, but I would say that his best years were under Tony La Russa. Uh, the thing on X is not so much about people having opinions. It's just people just being negative all the time. You know, A Project says consider Trent Grissom as a trade target. What, for the Mets? Really, they'd be willing to make a deal like that with the Mets, or they would consider that Robert is comparable to Grissom. Really, the Yankees would trade him to the Mets. He's played really well for them. Let me see something. Now, please, in the meanwhile, please like this video and subscribe to the Baseball Hut. Really? Mets are interested in Trent Grissom? I know the Mets have a lot to offer. They do. They have a lot of pitching, a lot of middle infielders. You know, but like a Vientos for Grissom. I saw something the other day. J.D. Davis. I guess I saw this. I couldn't believe it. And I was thinking, I wonder if he should consider a change in his career as a player. It just sort of occurred to me the other day, a few hours ago. J.D. Davis. I hate to go back to this. These are the kind of thoughts I have. J.D. Davis was with the Mets, the Orioles, the A's, the Yankees, and obviously the Astros. But I thought what was interesting about him is he signed, I guess, in Japan. Why doesn't he become a pitcher full time? This is a guy that has actually pitched in the major leagues, and he pitched out of the bullpen. He should go back to the minor leagues and become a pitcher, and reignite his career in a different way. Because as a hitter, his bat's not fast enough. Could be like what Ike Davis did that. You know, a few other pitchers, a few other guys did that, were hitters and became. But he'd been pretty successful. He should think about doing that. Become a pitcher. I mean, he pitched in relief for the Astros, and the Mets. And the announcers, Gary Keith and Ron always talked about him pitching in relief at some point for the Mets. It's just a thought. One of these things. But the Mets would be interested in Trent Grissom. Wow. You take a look at him. That'd be a perfect fit. I mean, he's a better player than. But I'd be surprised the Yankees did that. Let me take a look here. That's an interesting name. He's got a WAR 2.5. Wow. His OPS plus is 127. Wow. He's having a big year for them. And he's I guess he's a free agent after this season. So that would make sense on the Yankees side to move him. But not a high batting average guy. A lot of strikeouts. But he's having a big year this year. In 251. Trent Grissom is hitting 251, Stoney. He's got 16 home runs and 33 RBIs. We know he's a good defensive outfit. He's got 2 Gold Gloves in his career. Interesting. And for 3 years in a row, he hit 184, 198, 190. That's not good. From 22 to 24. But that's interesting, though. Should put his name on my list of players. Now, in the meanwhile, the way the show's going right now, please like this video and subscribe. And again, I'll have a lot of shows come the trading deadline. And he's hitting 251, Stoney. I got my list ready. It's a small list right now of the players that'll get traded this season. Well, they would do that? That's crazy. That the Yankees would get destroyed. Isn't like Grissom like a really good close friend to Soto? That they're real good friends. Who would play center field then for the Yankees if they traded him? I can't imagine they would put Judge back there. Will they put Dominguez there? I guess they put Dominguez there, right? So for their second pick, the Nationals took Ethan Petrie. I was watching the Combine a couple of weeks ago, and they had him on. And he was talking. Trying to figure out what kind of swing. That swing looks awfully familiar. What kind of swing? Who's he remind me of? Reminds me of somebody. Hmm. Oh, Bellinger. They put Bellinger in center. He's good. He's a great outfielder. So Grissom would be expendable. I guess they'd want an infielder, right? Like a third baseman. I will monitor that since you're in the Mets front office or in the minor league front office, I guess. Interesting. 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 Have they talked to the Yankees? I'm assuming that you're telling me this. They've talked to the Yankees. Or the Yankees have talked to them. Well, I misspoke. It's the Hudfather. I can do my Godfather voice. It wasn't until today. I knew it was Bozzini all along. You know. But I meant to say you're in the Mets. You work for the Mets. That's what I meant to say. Misspoke. But that's interesting. Trent Grissom. Hmm. Yeah, like we've been saying, the Mets need another bat in this lineup. They need something better in center field, and they need another. They need a big arm in that bullpen. And I would think that over the next year or so, a lot of the guys the Mets have in their farm system are going to start pushing some of these other guys out. If Vientos doesn't start picking it up, he's going to be pushed out. He's going to get moved. I really believe that. Uh, I really believe the Mets are going to move him. I just got that feeling. Uh, and I like the kid. I really like him a lot. But I think I could see the Mets moving him. You know. Um, and to be honest with you, I really like all the guys they have. In terms of just as people, they come across as really nice guys. So it isn't a situation where I don't like Beatty. He comes across as a really nice kid. Same thing with Acuna. Same thing with Mauricio and Vientos. I like all those guys. Um, and so it's not a situation I don't like this player. I dislike him. I like them. I just love the power that Vientos has, but he's inconsistent with it. I know so really expecting a lot out of him this year. Um, and Mauricio missed the year. I'm surprised the Mets rushed him so quickly to the majors. Back, you know. Stony 814 says, "Stay away from Cedric Mullins, please, please." I agree with you. I'm not too keen on him. Uh, A Project says Stearns will make moves on the margins. Don't expect anything crazy. If any big trades are made, it will be for the bullpen. Right. That's what I expect. Uh, I don't. He's not going to be the type that's going to trade um, Colin Holderman for Daniel Vogelback. Okay. He's not going to bring in players that are going to be. They're going to be role players that he's going to bring in that are. I expect that. I do expect that. But I do agree with you. It'll be a big reliever. They need a big reliever in here. If they can try to win World Series, they need a big reliever here. And they need better role players. Okay? In my opinion. That's what they need. I would also say this. I was looking at Jose Iglesias' numbers for this year. They're terrible. He's hit 230. Hit 230. His OPS plus, if I remember right, when I saw earlier today, minus 56. Oh, it's 56. So he's 44% worse than the average major leaguer offensively. So everybody that was clamoring for Iglesias to come back here He's played terribly for the Padres. I'm surprised they haven't sent him off to the Phantom Zone. You know, and I thought that was smart that the Mets didn't even bother to give him a contract. He won a 2-year deal. Crazy. But he hasn't played well. And I was very surprised that they called up Jarrett Young. I know he had tied the game today, but I'm not big on him at all. They need something better than that. They need and I felt that Jesse Winker didn't play. He just didn't play well before he got hurt, and now he's hurt again. Who the hell knows when he's coming back? All right, let me go back to the draft as I turned it off for a minute. Where are we at? 53. Oh boy. Yeah, so maybe I'll do a short later on the Mets the 102nd pick, which will be probably in another hour. But I mean, the one thing I'll say about Stearns, he has not traded one prospect, not one big prospect off this team since he's been here. He's not made a major trade since he's been here. Because to be honest with you, there's not a lot that this team needs. Okay. You know. He brings in pitchers. They got the pitching lab. They've improved these guys. You see the proof and what they've been able to do. So I don't think going on to the future, I don't see the Mets bringing in any big pitchers after anymore. They will develop their own guys. If they bring anybody in, it'll be kind of like a Shulman Naya guy that's had an okay career and they make him better. Or Clay Holmes. Clay Holmes should have made the All-Star team this year again. He's pitched great, for a guy that's a reliever his whole major league career. So they've not traded any big prospects. The last big prospect the Mets traded was Pete Crow Armstrong, and I never thought that kid had any offensive ability. From the things I read about him prior to the draft in 2020, never did I expect him to have 25 home runs at the break. I think he'd be a Gold Glove center fielder. I wasn't sure how he was going to hit. I am shocked, and I'm not wrong about too many Met prospects. Shocked by what they gave up for Javier Baez, And then the media making a big deal about Baez and Crow Armstrong being in the All-Star game. Baez was gone for like 2 years. He disappeared as a player. But it's interesting. The Mets have not moved any big prospects since. Not one. They've been sort of collecting them. They haven't moved a prospect for a prospect. They haven't done anything like that. Nothing. They've added players. They've added prospects to the draft. It'd be interesting to see what the Mets do with this draft, with the pitching. We'll learn more about it later on today. We'll learn everything about it tomorrow. The Mets will have, after tonight, I guess, 17 picks, after tonight. So we'll see who they pick, and we'll have a better idea of the philosophy for this year. Because last year was very pitching heavy. Last year, you got guys like R.J. Gordon flying through the Mets system. He's in Double-A. Ryan Lambert, another pitcher the Mets have that's in Double-A. So I'm very, very enthused about the Mets, just in general, But they don't have an elite player in this system. It's the only thing they don't have. Well, I'm going to end the live stream here because we went for about an hour and a half. Again, I'll have more stuff tomorrow on the whole entire draft. And maybe maybe I'll be online covering. Who knows? Who the hell knows? But they're gonna stretch out the last round and a half till 11 o'clock. But hopefully you like this video. Again, this is an annual thing. I'm so happy we get to do it this year. I was very concerned about a lot of stuff in the real world that we weren't going to have this year. But we're going to have this. We had this year. Very happy with this show tonight. Got some interesting information through the chat, and I will hope that, of course, we'll do this again next year. Oh, thank you, Robert Becker. I appreciate your support. I will be back again the week of the trade deadline, which is Thursday, July 31st at 6 p.m. We'll cover all that. I don't know if I'll have it outside this year, because last year we had it outside for half the show, which was cool. I won't have to worry about any kind of ants jumping on the table. I had ants jumping on the table. They were flying off the trees here. I had to get a tree removed in front of my house. I don't have to worry about that anymore. But I have some more live streams. Just keep an eye out for it. There'll be plenty of videos. We'll have plenty of rumors coming up, and of course, we'll have the big shows the week of the trading deadline, and just shoot the breeze. Very mellow here. It's not. I didn't feel like being on camera tonight. I'm tired. I don't feel like dealing with that. I don't have my hat on. And just sitting here, here at the hut, BSing. But thank you for coming by. I appreciate it. Appreciate the support. And again, I'm not going anywhere. I don't want you thinking that I'm leaving. I've said for a long time that I was sticking around. MLB knows that I'm not going anywhere. I told them that. WFAN knows I'm not going anywhere. And God willing, be back to bother them for the next 20 years. Be doing this the next 25 years. So that's the plan. That's my plan. So no matter what I do, that's what I'm going to do for the next 25 years. Is talk about the Mets and the draft every year and the trade deadline and the off season. It's a great time too. So thank you for watching this live stream. We'll be back in the near future here at the Great One's home and house and hut. And thanks for watching. Let's go Mets. We're going to have a great second half. The Mets are going to go to postseason again. Don't doubt me. And we'll get back at it on Friday. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.